Hopefully it loads.
We're live. Hello.
We are live, and it is great to be back. In case you guys have forgotten who I am since the last time we saw you, my name is Dom. I am the host, producer, director, all the above of Survivor Dearborn, running from 2016 to 2019. If you haven't seen that, check that out. And joining me today is Drew from our podcast last season, covering season 1 of Survivor LU Genesis. And we also have Nate, former player of season 1 of Survivor LU Genesis. And in case you guys haven't seen that season, warning, we could be dropping some major spoilers today for season 1 because we are about to cover season 2 of Survivor LU. How we doing?
It's good to be back. I am glad to be back. It's been, I don't know how many months it's been since we've been here, but I am ready for season 2. I know that you guys have been sitting on the footage for a long time. Nate now being on production. The footage has been sat on for a long time, and you guys are season 6 just wrapped up filming. So we have a lot that we are looking forward to covering, and I'm ready to be here and talk negatively about all these players. No, I'm just kidding. Only some of them. But no, I'm excited to be back. Nate, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited for you guys to get to see these players compete. I think there's a lot of kind of goofy characters this season, which we didn't really have as much the first season. So I think it's going to be a lot more of people having fun and some gamers for sure, but definitely a different vibe from the first season.
Interesting. You guys set the bar pretty high. You guys did set the bar pretty high in terms of character and, just gameplay all around. Nate, I'm struggling, I feel like I'm watching I've new group of people coming. I feel like I'm entering a new era of Survivor LU of just new people and I just kind of want to go I want to see Luke, I want to see Dawes, I want to see Nate all running around and doing stuff, but I am excited at the same time to see this new batch of players going forward. And it's interesting to hear you say that they are big personalities because it sounds like a lot of them in their pregame interviews want to stay under the radar and not do a lot of big moves until the end. So what are we going to be expecting, at least without any spoilers, in the first couple episodes of Survivor LU season 2?
Well, I think I noticed that too. A lot of them said they want to lay low, but the thing is, when everyone's trying to do that, someone's forced to the top, someone's forced to make moves. And I think going into a game like this, you kind of have a strategy that gets thrown out the door as soon as you start playing too. So I think once they start to hit the ground running, it's going to get pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. It seems like a lot of the players this season were saying that they wanted to play honest games, and I don't believe any of them. Well, maybe one. There's one person that I believe. But yeah, a lot of people saying they want to play honest games, and a couple of people who have never seen the show. So definitely interested to see that. But yeah, I have taken non-rigorous notes. I have a sentence written for each person, and I'm ready to just read it because these were all just my first impressions. Obviously, Nate, you know all of these players. You were involved on production. Do you want to talk a little bit about being involved on production for this season?
Yeah, so primarily my job was storyboarding. So I watched every single confessional that came in and took notes. So it was a lot. After this season, I will say we had to crack down on the time people spent on confessionals because we had people who would talk for hours at a time just talking about the game. So if that gives you any indication about how hard these people are going to play, I'll just leave it at that.
That's really exciting to hear. And then Dom, obviously, you don't know any of these people, any of these players. You have no knowledge of anything that happens in the game.
Zero. Yes. I'm walking in clueless, same as I did last season. And I don't know. I'm excited to finally. I don't know who saw my season 41 episode recap, but I am not a big fan of the current state of Survivor. So I'm excited to see some juicy Survivor gameplay. And hopefully this is our version of going back to the basics. This is going to be a lot longer than 26 days. We have a lot more likable host than Jeffrey Probst right now. And I'm hoping that these players are able to bring it like at least the season 41 and 42 players were able to. So,
right.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of in the middle where I don't know who wins this season. I said last season for season 1, I knew who won. I don't think I know who wins season 2. Maybe I will like remember something in the back of my head at some point during the season, but I don't think I know. But I have met most of these players. I think I counted earlier like 11 or 12 of these players I have either played in a game with, hosted in a game, or just met and hung out with. So Nate and I can definitely share some as far as like personality of the players goes. Obviously, we will not be spoiling anything. I don't know that I have many spoilers to share, but we will not be spoiling anything tonight. And then Nate also doesn't tonight. Isn't there a surprise something being revealed for Survivor LU?
So tomorrow night we are dropping something for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tomorrow night for this coming weekend.
I'm interested to see what that is as well. Because do we have our tribe divisions or anything yet?
We do. So we released the tribe divisions before we started releasing the individual players.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Well, I guess because I know what the tribe divisions are, I can announce it. Dom, I don't know if you saw it or not, but it is 3 tribes. It is a tribe of women, a tribe of men, and a tribe of women and men together. Mm-hmm. So
interesting. That is quite I did not see that. So that is quite the start off, I guess. Yeah, that'll be interesting dynamic on how that all runs down. Was there like a theme about it, or I know you guys picked Genesis as the name of season 1 because of it was your first season and there's a story behind it. Was there anything that came with this theme or like this twist, I guess?
So, well, the theme of this season is at odds. So basically, in that way, it's kind of like a battle of the sexes kind of thing, but also you have that middle group, which is, can we have the best of both worlds in one tribe and see how well they do as well? In addition to can all the men work together and do well, and all the females do well and work together?
Gotcha. Well, that adds a completely different layer, and it will be a fun social dynamic to be able to dissect throughout the whole season. But without further ado, I believe that we should get into our first contestant that we are here to roast or critique.
Disclaimer. I'm going to say some things, and it's not about, it doesn't mean I dislike you as a person. It just means that what you have presented on camera and what the editors have given us is maybe not the best towards you. So if we have any critiques, it is not towards you as a person. And I say that because I have a lot to say about some of you.
I'll try to be nice.
Yeah, Dom can be good cop. I'll be bad cop.
So if we look, we're going to go in release order from the YouTube video. So first up, we have Jonathan J. High, who is in our comments section right now, giving us a wave. He's here, and he commented saying that it's a great tribe twist. So I don't know if I'm going to interpret that as it was good for him, maybe, or I'll take that as it's sarcasm. And he's very early out. I honestly can't tell because there was, I knew very little I got from his intro video for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do know J-High. His intro video kind of is pretty much who he is as a person in terms of personality. He's pretty calm. He's very well spoken, but he is a super fan and he's a big nerd. Mm-hmm. So I think that helps. But he's very intelligent. He's very, like I said, he's very good speaking. I would expect a lot of strategy from J-High. Mm-hmm. The last time I hosted J-High in a game, he was on a tribe, and within the first 5 minutes of the game, he was like, "Hey, let's split up and all look for idols." And because he suggested everybody split up, he was first boot. So I don't know, but that's recently. And this season was filmed what, Nate? January. It started January of 2020.
Yeah. So right before COVID happened. So this is kind of our last season pre-COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. Dom, what did you get vibes from J-High?
So I also agree. He knows his stuff, and I put that down. He knows his stuff. He's very self-aware in the terms of, he mentioned Tommy in his video and noticed how boring Tommy was, but because Tommy was supposed to be boring, like he purposely put on this front. But I think he's very self-aware. He gave me Nathan vibes, not Nate vibes, Nathan vibes from season 1. And I predicted Nathan going around sixth place. I think I had Nathan last season. And spoilers, he ended up winning. So there's that. I don't know if he would be able to make it. I personally think, before we kind of get into this more, I think this is the season of the girls. I think they're going to run it. We got a lot of strong personalities from the girls. I think J-High will be able to work in a little bit, but I think we might see him go mid-merge. I'm going to say 9th, 8th, or 7th, whatever that stretch is.
I kind of agree with you. I think that Nate, is J-High on the men's tribe or the mixed tribe?
J-High is on the men's tribe.
Okay.
I think that's probably good for him, because I think being a big strategist on a tribe, on the mixed tribe with the women, could put a target on him, but maybe he'll be able to slide through on that men's tribe. I definitely, unless he does something where he outs himself as the massive super fan, or he overplays, I don't see him going out in a pre-swap. Of course, there's the option to get swap screwed, but I see J-High doing well. I think he's going to come in with strategy, which I don't think that half of this cast has put any thought into strategy based on the pregame videos. So I see good things for J-High. Winner potential, I could see it. I think if he can make it to the end, he can win. If he can make it to the end.
Okay. Interesting. And J-High was a junior, correct? Or senior? He's a senior.
He's a senior. We have actually quite a few grad student seniors this season that we didn't have before.
Yep. I appreciated that divide last season where you kind of had an even balance of grade levels. And it's interesting, I think, in a college environment, how that could come into play. Because, I mean, just simply being a senior surrounded by a group of, freshmen who are new to the campus. It's their, I'm guessing it's their second semester now. And, it could definitely come as an advantage, being seen as somebody with more experience. And I think that comes off in college games as more comforting and a plus than anything. So, I think that's in his favor, but it could, by the time merge comes around, I don't know. I'm iffy on him.
I agree. I do also think actually that being an upperclassman can be almost a disadvantage. We even saw in LU season 1 that the freshmen kind of banded together at points, because when you're a freshman, you're looking for these friend groups, and because this is such a massive chunk of your schedule that's taken out, you are forced to bond with these people, and having all these freshmen looking for friends. I don't know. It could put him on the outs, but I see good. I don't see him going out pre-swap. I don't know.
I don't either. I think we're good. Yeah. Unless there's not a swap. What if we're
Oh no.
Oh man, what a twist. Anyway, I think J-High, thanks for being in our comments.
Yes.
I feel like he's got a decent shot. It will be fun to watch. And yeah, I hope best luck. And let's move on to our next one, who is
Hallie. Okay. I'm going to let y'all
away.
Okay, I was going to say I'm going to let y'all speak first, but I have written down, these were just my first impressions as I was watching them, because I didn't watch any of the videos until today. I wrote down, does Hallie have social skills? Because the way she talks, and Hallie, if you're watching this, I don't know if you are, I've never met you in my life. Hallie, the way you talk stresses me, because you talk very slowly, and I can't tell if your sentences are going anywhere, and it doesn't make me uncomfortable or anything. I'm just like, where are we going with this? And she said the reason she applied was because her parents applied to the real show and couldn't get on, but she's never seen the show before.
I think she might have seen the show. She just doesn't remember.
I'm I see either an early out or lots of goat potential being dragged to the end.
I agree.
Yeah, I would say I edited the pregame interviews, and Hallie was my favorite just because she's just kind of like funny naturally. Like if you read it that way, I think she's.
Mhm.
I mean, she is a counseling major, which does tell you she does have some awareness when it comes to people, but she definitely is a unique personality for sure.
Oh, I agree. Dom, go ahead.
I think so too. I wrote down that she's counseling. I think that she's very old school player. If she were to come into it, just simple, win, lose, move on, vote out, weakest link, that type of vibe. I think she has a lot of life experience. I believe she said she's like traveled a ton and like did a mission trip. So that honestly, it's a conversation starter. It's something that could be positive, but she really did not give a lot in her intro video. And if you edited that, props, Nate, because I know how it's like to edit like splice stuff like that, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like she can play dumb for a little bit, and it'll depend on if people buy it or if they don't. Because if people, because if I don't know if I phrased that right. If people buy that she's playing dumb, they could use her. But if people also buy that she's playing dumb, and actually think that she's dumb, that's a liability. That's something. So, Nate, what tribe does she start off on?
So Hallie is on the mixed tribe. So the 3 guys, 3 girls tribe.
That concerns me actually for her because I actually think my thing for Hallie is I actually really am interested to see Hallie play because I don't think that she's going to go in and she's going to have strategy. I don't think she's going to go in and she's going to form alliances. But what I do see for her, if she can get a couple weeks without having to go to tribal, I think she could actually be somebody who's almost like, I don't know who to compare her to, for like an Ethan Zahn almost from Africa, where she's just like a sounding board for other people and she can collect all this information, but because she's not the one leading anything, she has everything. But I just don't see her utilizing it though.
Yeah, I would agree.
I could see her just being like, okay, this is somebody who like I have as an easy number who I can bring through the game if she can get her foot in the door.
Do you think she has Kim Spradlin potential, like she mentioned in her confessional?
No.
I think she might have. I would argue Kat.
Oh wow! Okay.
I would argue Kat, but I would also maybe see like maybe a Chelsea if she's going the one world route. Like, I don't see her as a Kim, but I see her as an asset to a Kim.
I'm interested to see if she goes in and. From what I understand from the interview, she's just gonna go in and like do her thing. But I'm interested to see if she gets caught up in the game and like try and wants to actually play. Maybe a strategist will come out. Like I don't know, because she's counseling in art. Is she the one who's an art minor? Who's an art minor? Somebody's an art minor. But I don't know. Maybe she can put the counseling skills into play and be a good sounding board for people and be a good like second in command character. Either way, I think she'll be entertaining.
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel like she'll be a character, and I also appreciate when live games, especially college versions, because college versions bring out just people who want to, participate in something. They don't necessarily have to be the biggest fans. They could have just heard from it from a friend, which we've seen. A lot of like cast members have heard of that. That are on this season, but it brings out a much more natural introduction to Survivor that I feel could progress the game, and bring out different strategies, because a super fan is going to think like a super fan, like they're just going to think of how to play the game. A natural
super fans are always going to be looking for that big move.
Exactly. I feel like she might be able to see things objectively and move from there, but yeah, I don't know what else we can talk about Hallie with, because I'm
excited. That's what I have to say.
Yep.
Dom, what's your bet for her placement?
How many people are in this season?
18.
15.
I think she's first boot on her tribe.
I don't think she's first boot on her tribe.
I think she's first boot on her. I mean, I need to pull up a graphic of the tribes. But I think she's first boot on her tribe unless her tribe can make it to like week 3 or 4, and then I think she's fine.
I think she might be a swap victim if I'm guessing.
Just as an easy vote or something.
Yeah, something like that. Like if somebody wants to flip and be like, oh, I don't know. We're playing a lot of hypotheticals.
Yeah,
let's go that into we'll cover that when we cover the episodes.
For sure.
We're planning out these people's entire game for them right now. Like we'll keep the ball rolling and move on to Hallie. That's got to be confusing for some people. Hallie and Hallie, especially releasing them back to back. Drew, what are your thoughts on Hallie?
I think I've met Hallie casually maybe once. So I don't have a ton of insight onto her as a person. I wrote down that she was really likable. Like she seemed just like a nice person. But one thing that she said did confuse me, because she said she wanted to go in and play an honest game and she doesn't manipulate, but she also said that she wants to play like Cochran. So I'm kind of concerned about that, if she was just like throwing out a big name to throw out a big name, or if she's actually just saying she doesn't want to manipulate, but she's like, well, but I'm going to have to. I don't know. She didn't particularly stand out to me, which I think is probably a good thing for her.
I would agree. I feel like looking, especially the drastic change going from Hallie's interview to Haley's interview, I thought that Hallie was very well-spoken and knew a lot about the game so that she would be able to, I don't know, maneuver at least through situations. I think she's got Merge on lock. I would say she is a threat maybe around Final 6. And so Final 5 or Final 6 is when people would start to notice that she is playing a decent game. And she's mechanical engineering as well. So she's not like working with nothing up here, like she's smart. So the honesty thing kind of threw me for a loop. But Cochran, for the most part, he was loyal. He was loyal to his people, and if she wants to be loyal to 3 people and play a backstabbing game the whole way through, you're still loyal to 3 people. Incredibly, like that's a feat in and of itself. So I kind of see it. I don't know. I think she'll be a threat later on in the game. But yeah, I'm excited to see what she can come up with, because I think she gave one of the better interviews in terms of content.
Yeah. Nate, give us some more insight into Hallie.
Yeah, so I think definitely Hallie has a Cochran almost vibe in the way she thinks and approaches the game. Obviously, people say they want to play honest, and oftentimes it doesn't work out. So we'll see if it works out for her. She also played softball for a while, so she does have some skills when it comes to challenges that may be seen. So we'll see what happens with Hallie.
Yeah. Hallie almost gives me Nicole vibes from season 1.
I'm saving that for another player.
Oh, I'm interested to see who you have to say that about.
I'm saving Nicole vibes for another player. As you know, Nicole's. I'm hoping. I'm still holding out hope. Nicole is coming back as a captain for this season, or something. Get her back.
Same thing for me and Ellie. This is a Nicole and Ellie Stan account. Yeah. So, anything else to say about Hallie?
Good luck, Hallie.
I'm ready. I'm ready to see what Hallie has to bring.
Yes.
All right. Onward to someone who I absolutely cannot wait to watch, and that is John Sharp. John, I know very well. John, in this video is the calmest I have ever seen John in my entirety of knowing him. He is extremely excitable. He's a huge nerd. He will nerd out. He's not necessarily a Survivor nerd, though.
That's very evident.
At least at this time, he wasn't. I think now he's more in the Survivor vein. But he is a massive nerd, and his video honestly blew me away knowing him, because I was like, what kind of calculated, calm John is this? I've never seen that side of him. He's a great talker, very calculated. He's very opinionated, which I think could get him in trouble. He's very political, very politically charged, which could polarize people or isolate people. But I'm so excited to see John. Dom, what were your thoughts on John?
I agree with you on a lot of things that you said. I noted that he spends a lot of his time at the student government lab or whatever you guys have over at LU, which was a big, I don't know if it was a red flag for me. It was definitely not a green flag for me because I don't know. I do think it plays a very political, Survivor's a political game. And, I don't know if you're known for hanging out at the student government lab and that you enjoy your politics. That's a red flag for me if I'm playing with you. I also noted that he wants to play like Joe Anglim, right? How fantastic is Joe Anglim? Season 30, season 31, and apparently he's on season.
Apparently
35,
he was on season 35, according to John.
But then he goes on to say his strategy is to blend in. I don't know how you can play like Joe Anglim, doesn't blend in, just because of his hair, let alone his physical ability.
And he has no strategy.
And he's got no strategy. Yeah, he's got no strategy. But I don't know. Those two just don't balance out for me. I think as a player, John is gonna just implode. But I think it'll be fantastic television to watch. So
I can guarantee you John will be good TV. I don't know that he'll make good confessionals, but I think he's going to be amazing to watch strategize because it's going to be a hot mess, and I'm ready for it. Nate, what insight do you have for us on John?
Yeah, I think you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head with John. He actually ran for student body president this past semester. So He is very much politically aware, and it is helping the game in some sense, but it all depends on how he decides to use those skills with like debate and convincing people of things. So it's up to him whether or not he's actually going to use those skills.
Yep.
Yeah, wasn't John on the debate team as well?
I believe so.
It's going to be a mess.
Yep, I can see it going. I don't see it going positively at all for John. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like all these factors would be a very good traits to have in like a Cochran or whatever, somebody who is very underestimated, but somebody with as big of a personality in his intro video, I feel like is going to just draw a lot of flags, for a lot of players.
I agree. And I think a lot of these interviews showed some very neutral personalities, and I don't think John will be one of those at all. So I'm very excited to see that.
All right, moving on. John, good luck. But now we're on CK.
Woo woo! I'm a CK stan.
I am also on the CK train. I think he is one of the few guys that stand a chance against the girls cast this season. He seemed to have a very level head in his interview, and when he said he wanted to play like Russell Hantz, kudos. If you
can pull it off.
Something that he enjoyed making music, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So somebody who I don't know, I just get a chill vibe from that already. And if if Russell Hantz played the piano, like I'd trust him, like I don't know. There's just a calming trait about him just watching the video. And if he, wants to play cutthroat, like he said in the intro video, let him. I truthfully believe he would be able to. So I'm on the CK train.
I was actually really surprised by CK's video. I have hung out with CK a couple of times, hosted him in a couple of games, played against him in a couple of games. And CK always, every time that I've hosted him or played with him, has played extremely socially. So it kind of surprised me when he was saying that he wants to play like Russell Hantz. I don't know. I really like CK. He's extremely likable. He's very mellow, easy to get along with. I don't see a world that he goes out pre-merge unless he's like randomly taken out by like a rogue idol play or something like that. I don't know. I'm just all aboard the CK train. Nate, what else do you have for us on CK?
Well, one thing that's pretty cool is he's from Canada. So we got our first Canadian in our second season, which is pretty cool. I think he's actually one of Ben Michelson's recruits. that we've gotten. So
okay.
You might have some insight. If you remember, Ben said he wanted to play like Russell Hantz last season. So CK also wants to play like Russell Hantz. But you're right. He is very mellow, and he is the kind of person who naturally could lay low if he decides to do that. Whereas some people are saying they want to, and I don't believe it. I believe he actually could pull that off.
What was CK's level of like how much of a Survivor fan was CK?
I believe in his interview, he said that he had grown up watching the show. So he was kind of a little bit of, I wouldn't say like a super fan, but definitely someone who had seen a decent amount of the show growing up.
And I think that's what you want probably for a college Survivor that's so long, because the super fans are going to try to overplay quickly, and the people who have never seen the show, it's going to take them a while to warm up, whereas those kind of middle of the road fans can take a minute to warm up and then get into it. And I see that for CK. Which tribe is CK on?
CK is on the Kalahari tribe, which is the 3 guys, 3 girls tribe.
I like that for him.
Yep, I think that's a great spot for him to start off the game in. And Dustin actually has CK, it looks like, in his draft list. So
as everyone should, because this is a CK Stan account.
I'm kind of nervous about that because if I remember correctly, Dustin's track record isn't the best in picking people. So I'm hoping that good luck to CK and that he is on. He's going to do well. I also want to note before we move further in our cast assessment, CK was one of the 3 people featured in the promo video, the minute-long promo video. Only 3 people were shown. John was one of them. I think John's our little false, like...
Is John going to be our Sam of the season? Where, like, they're really hyped up and then they just...
Yep, I think that's our John. I think CK is going to be a player in the merge. And we have another player who we will cover later, who I also marked before I watched the promo as somebody who is somebody to watch. So let's carry on and see who that player is. Next up, we have Melanie. Melanie is interesting for me. She's a question mark for me.
I have some intel on Melanie. So whenever I was at LU, the first 6 seasons that I hosted of Survivor LU that were all one-day games, I did based on my friends and like reaching out to people and sometimes friends of friends. But for season 7, I actually opened invites to the wider university, and Melanie and her now husband both applied. They were engaged at the time when they applied, and I declined both of their applications.
Ooh.
So that's my fun little Melanie story. But now Melanie and I are good friends. And I'm not sure what to expect from Melanie. Just like knowing how she is as a person, she's very calm. She my big worry for her is that I'm not sure she has the killer instinct. I feel sometimes that she loves board games, and I've played board games with her. She's a little slow to act sometimes. So I am a little bit worried about that for her, but she's extremely easy to get along with. She's a little bit introverted as well. Yeah.
That's the kind of vibe I got from Melanie. I feel like she would be good. She's a fan. And I feel like not like a super duper fan. Like I feel like she's, a pretty level-headed fan who, watches occasionally. She says she wants to play like Sarah, which is a pretty good pick in my opinion, of who you want to play like. And I think that she would be able to. It sounds like she's competitive and she's got a background in behavior science. And so that's definitely something to have in your back pocket, whether she wants to share that or not. I don't know how that will play out, but yeah, definitely she seems to have all the cards in her hand. Just got to see how she plays them.
Nate, did I understand this correctly that Melanie is not a student?
So she was working for Liberty at the time. So that if we were worried about grad students being removed last season, she's an employee. So she's even further removed. She's married, off campus. So that does put her in an interesting position with this cast for sure.
Yeah, I think Melanie is one of the people, just based on the videos that I've seen, who has the potential to actually be able to pull off under the radar. Because I think she has the calmness to her. A lot of the other people that were saying that they wanted to play under the radar, I was kind of like, okay, I don't know about that. But I think Melanie actually has the potential to pull off a good under the radar and coast to merge easily, at least.
I would say I do think maybe the living off campus and being removed could play a big factor into it, because this is still season 2, so none of these people have seen season 1, and nobody knows really how much work that needs to be put in, and that was evident in David's first boot of season 1. Nate, on the other hand, was managed to adapt and roll with the punches. But we have to remember that these players are coming in little to no previous knowledge or viewing experience of how to play the game and how the game runs, I guess. So that could definitely play a big factor. I would say, if not pre-merge, I think she makes mid-merge. I would say another 9 to 7 range as well, because I can definitely just see her being fodder from like a big move play, I guess, like an idle play or something.
Nate, which tribe is Melanie on?
Melanie is on the Tiwi tribe, which is the all-girls tribe.
Okay.
I don't love that for her.
I think that puts her in a decent spot, to be honest, for me.
I don't love that for her. Why do you like that for her?
I think if she were on the half and half tribe, I think that would put her at kind of a disadvantage, especially being off campus. I don't know. I just kind of see the guys and the girls intermingling more and, coming together. It kind of forces you to have conversations while, the other two tribes get to bond over girls and bond over being guys. Like the other one forces you to bond. And I feel like being a behavior science major, she would be able to kind of maneuver the girls' conversations better, I feel like, at least starting out.
I just feel like I don't love that she's on the all-girls tribe because so many of the girls said they wanted to play under the radar for this season. And
True.
So if all of the girls on the girls' tribe are trying to play under the radar, somebody is going to have to be not under the radar. And will that be Melanie? I don't see that happening. I don't see Melanie being the one to necessarily step up and be like, okay, let's get it together. I'm forming this majority. But I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm excited to see what Melanie has to bring. I think she brings a like an introspection. She's very introspective. So I think that could bring definitely something that we haven't necessarily seen from many players yet.
Yeah. Well, Melanie, we wish you good luck. I hope that you prove me wrong, I guess. Drew's pretty high on you, it sounds like.
I'm mid on Melanie.
I think he just feels bad that he didn't cast you. So.
I don't feel bad. I've had this discussion with her and her husband.
Oh, well, good thing we have it recorded now and on the internet to make sure that Drew and Melanie's beef has been squashed, in case anybody was curious. But we should move on to our next castaway, Andrew, who I had a lot of question marks with.
I would love to hear your thoughts on Andrew.
Andrew, I don't think is making it far. I feel like he is an early boot. I don't like the fact that he wanted to befriend everyone and just play under the radar, because that seems like too generic of a strategy. I feel like the players that come into the game without a strategy are almost better. And it sounded like Andrew had a lot of end game strategy. And if you plan for the end game before even stepping foot on that mat, I think you're in trouble. And that was kind of a big red flag for Andrew. Not only did he want to model Sandra, our first 2-time winner, I'd say that's a pretty fair model, but he also wanted to model Rick Devens, who got voted out once and twice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Unless you guys have a secret Edge of Extinction or Redemption Island, I think Andrew could be going out in a similar spot to Rick Devens. Part 1.
I know Andrew quite well. Everything that Andrew said in his interview, I was like, Andrew, this is the opposite of everything I know about you. Like,
Okay.
Andrew is a huge talker. He loves to talk. So him saying that he's going to play under the radar, I was like, him saying that he wanted to win like Sandra won, I was like, I just don't see it for him. Andrew's a big talker. He does have, I do see that he does genuinely like talking to people and connecting with people. So I do see the connection part for him. My worry for Andrew is that he's going to overplay, because that is every single time that I've hosted Andrew in a game or played with him, he has played very hard, very quickly. And this isn't a one-day game. This isn't even a 39 or 26 day now game. This is a semester-long game. You have to be playing at all times, but you can't jump in and go at 120% from the get-go, and that's my worry with Andrew. I do think a pro for him is that he is a super fan. He has a lot of the game knowledge down. He knows all of the basic strategies. He'll be a go-to guy to come up with like vote splits or idle plays, where idols would be hidden. He has that knowledge, and I think that's a big benefit for him, considering there are so many people on this season who haven't necessarily seen a ton of Survivor. I don't know.
I would like to counter and say the fact that in his intro video he had you going like, that's not really you, like I also got that vibe of like, I don't really believe that you would play that way. I don't, so that's just my first impression. I hope Andrew can prove me wrong. I think I had Nate pretty low on my rankings at the beginning, and he smashed me out of the park and proved me wrong. So Andrew, I would like to wish you the best of luck in proving me wrong. Nate, what was the casting process like for Andrew?
So Andrew's interesting because he is aware of how people kind of perceive him.
Okay.
So I think that's something that is really important in Survivor, and especially in this cast where you're interacting with people who haven't seen the show, who are kind of just in it for the ride. I think that puts him in a good position, just possessing some self-awareness. And even though he definitely plays differently now, I think after you play a semester-long version, you definitely play differently in one-day games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say you can necessarily base his game this season.
Oh, absolutely.
What he does afterwards. So
yeah, I think that regardless, Andrew is going to be great TV. I'm here for it. I'm very excited to see Andrew play, and I want him to last long. I want Andrew to last a long time, just so I can see Andrew be Andrew.
Because I love you.
What do you trust me? Wait. Why?
I trust that if you think he'll be good TV, I trust that he'll be good TV. Is what I mean. And if my read was off, I'm looking forward to being proven wrong.
I think Andrew has the unintentionally funny factor that we've talked about before. Okay. I think he's unintentionally and intentionally funny, and so I'm excited, especially to see Andrew's confessionals.
Yeah, definitely. Well, moving on from Andrew. Andrew, again, best of luck if you're watching. We got Lily, who is a sophomore, a nursing major in nursing school. And I think Lily is a strong contender. She is one of the top competitors, I guess, on my list. I feel like she's pretty well-spoken and that she has a decent head on her shoulders. It sounds like she is also pretty physically intact, which is something that, would come into play pre-merge as well as later in the merge. I am a little hesitant on the fact that she's a fan of the show, but her go-to picks were Elaine and Janet.
Really? I loved that.
I felt it was very unique, but I also got very much like how on Survivor or Big Brother they make you watch like the most recent season to like, be like, hey, this is how the game runs. That's I felt like she might have just been like, oh, I'm playing Survivor LU, I better watch the most recent season. Like that's the vibe I got from those two picks. But at the same time, I feel like she has a good sense of the game and also a good balance as to, herself and the game and separating being a fan from that. So I don't know. I felt like that was a strong point for her.
Yeah, I liked Lily's interview a lot. I wrote down she gives off the impression that she's just a sweet like farm girl, which I think she probably is. But I think that because she gives off that impression, regardless of if she is this like master strategist or not, like that helps. I really liked actually that she said Elaine and Janet, because that tells me that she's going to focus mostly on social game, which it seems like a lot of people this season are wanting to focus on social game, which I think will be very interesting because season 1, I think we had a lot of strategists.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see the social dynamics of this season. Lily kind of gives me Ellie vibes from season 1, and I like that. Hopefully she won't get rocked out like Ellie did. But I like Lily. I don't know that I see Lily winning, but I see her not being an early out under any circumstances, really.
I would agree. I believe that she is merge material. I don't think she's going pre-merge. But I wouldn't be upset, and I wouldn't be surprised if she made it deep in the end game.
Yeah, Nate, tell us more about Lily.
Yeah, so I think Elaine is actually a really good pick for her because, like you said, she does kind of have that country girl vibe. She's really wanting to put in that hard work, which is something she's grown up with, whether that's relationships, whether that's playing the game in general. So I think that could serve her well in a game where there's a lot of people who don't exactly know what they're doing, who might need someone like her to kind of be a driving force.
I could see that. I was going to say I either see her being a second in command to somebody who's more strategic, or her being like a person who brings in some of these other under the radar players and is like, okay, like this is our squad. Like we all like each other. Let's just like move through as a group. I don't know. Dom, any other thoughts?
No, I think we hit all the bases with Lily. I think she's a solid contender, and I can't wait to watch what she's able to do. I think she would be a good social strategist. But yeah, I think we covered everything that we can for her. I think she's in a good spot in my books.
I agree. Let's move on to Ethan. Ethan, I need to speak with you for a moment. I have never met Ethan in my entire life. I felt like all of Ethan's interview, he was lying to the audience. Did anybody else get that vibe? Like, I felt like he was intentionally downplaying himself to the audience, which I thought was really strange because I feel like he has a lot going on in his brain. But I felt like he was saying like, oh, I'm just here to have fun. Like, oh, I'm just this cool guy. Like, haha, I'm the funny guy. Like, I see through you, Ethan. I know you have things going on.
I felt Ethan was a mix of Dawson and Luke. If they had like just combined a clone, had a kid together, I think that's what, Ethan would come out as. I didn't necessarily, except I don't know. I don't think he has the strategy or the social capabilities of either of those two, in my opinion.
I think he does, and I think he's lying to the audience.
But also, if you get that vibe from him, and I kind of also got that vibe that, I don't know, it's a little fishy. Like, how often can you be serious? If you can't be serious in your intro video while also laying on some nice jokes, then I don't know. I felt like we might get a little. Not that I'm complaining about it. I think he'll makes for some good confessionals and kind of be a wild card throughout the season. I would like a little bit more from him, if that makes sense.
I would like some depth.
I would like some more depth, but at the same time, I could see him going out early because his tribe doesn't take him seriously, or I could see him making it maybe where Dawson or Luke made it, because I do think he does have the capabilities to do that, but he really does need to watch his like go with the flow, like goofy attitude.
Yeah.
I will say that I think he's one of the main people who had absolutely no idea what was going on with Survivor. Like he had not seen Survivor at all. So that might be why he kind of reads that way. He's just kind of performing for the camera. I think he kind of gives like a little bit of an arrogant vibe, which
but see, I couldn't tell.
But you'll see what happens.
That actually sheds a lot of light on it, because I remember my first season of hosting and filming my stuff. The minute I put a camera in front of my friends who had no idea what Survivor was or what they were doing, they were like hammed it up. It wasn't until they were in the game and experiencing things that they finally were like, you know, themselves, and the game was taking over them, and they felt comfortable in front of a camera. So now that you mention that, I feel more content with him. You know what? Forget what I just said. Ethan, you're doing all right. No more pre-merge for you.
I don't take back what I said. I think that while he may not know what necessarily is going on in Survivor, I just feel that he's thinking. And like, he knows how he's presenting himself, and he's intentionally coming in as like the funny, silly guy. And I think that that's going to serve him well. What tribe is he on, Nate?
He's on the all guys tribe.
And he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be able to get by with social bonds and just like being funny and figuring out the game as he goes. I don't know that I see him making it very far, but I don't think he's going to be an early out. I'm excited to see his confessionals, but I do hope that we actually get to see some more real, actual Ethan instead of just like this personality that he's putting on.
Definitely. Well, moving on from Ethan. Ethan, I hope you enjoyed your roast. We are going on to...
No, Ethan, I'm excited to see you.
We are moving on to Victoria, who is one of my top contenders. I believe she is really... What? She's one of my top contenders. And I think because she has strategic communications in her major title, that is something that would come into play. I think she said she'd play like Kim, and I actually believed it because, I don't know, I felt like when she said her story, I felt like that is definitely something that is relatable to the audience, something that we don't get to see a lot in like live games. Just, you know, having a story, you know, it's usually just like, oh, I'm a big fan of something, you know, I want to play. Victoria has a story. She kind of has a reason to be there. And I feel like that grit and kind of like that knowledge of, you know, the game, I feel like she would have a good combination to make it end game. Dare I say final 3.
Wow. Okay. So I know Victoria. Victoria and I have played multiple games together. We have a very fun in-game rivalry where I have directly been the cause of her elimination before. She's directly been the cause of my elimination before. However, for this video, and she's going to kill me because I know she's going to watch this. I have 5 words written down for her notes. I said, "Go girl, give us nothing." Because I felt nothing. I got no vibes. Like, it wasn't even negative. I was just like, okay, Victoria is a player on this season.
That's not what I got.
I think that's interesting because out of everyone, I think kind of what Dom said, she's kind of the most determined person that we have based on pre-game interviews, where she has something she wants to prove. She wants to prove that after having some medical issues, she can do well in a competition like this. So I think that puts her in an interesting place.
I'm excited. Well, I'm hopeful that I get to hear more of that and move forward, like getting to know maybe that side of her. Because while I did understand her telling that story and like hearing that, I was kind of like, okay, but I need the energy. Like, where is it? I need the strategy. I do like that she's a fan. She's gonna have that strategy side down, and because she's strategic communications, I mean, come on, she's gonna be a good talker. I'm hopeful that I get to see more from Victoria than I saw in the pregame interview, but I am excited to see Victoria play.
Yeah. What tribe is Victoria starting on?
Victoria's on the all-girls tribe.
Interesting. I think that's a good. I think she would be honestly good on either the mixed or the all-female. So
honestly, I could see Victoria maybe being maybe one of the leaders on the girls' tribe, like stepping up and being one of the more of those.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe one of those more vocal presence. All right.
Definitely. Well, Victoria is not one of my, I'm rooting for her. Go Victoria. Idris, am I pronouncing
Idris. Yeah.
Question mark for me. I don't know. He kind of gave me Garrett vibes. I feel like they have a
similar... That's what I wrote. I literally wrote Garrett vibes.
If the aviation school is just all straight like Garrett clones, like... I felt like he had a very good attitude. He seemed to have a more welcoming presence and at least a little bit of knowledge of, social game, and how he appears and presents himself more so than Garrett might have. But I feel like, I think he's in a decent spot. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like he could definitely be some alliance fodder of like, we'll get rid of him, make the numbers even, something like that.
I could see that. I also wrote down that I could see him being an easy GOAT because I don't see the strategy from him necessarily. I do have a really fun story about Idris. The first ever online game that I ever played, Idris was in, and Nate was there too. And I had already been voted out. Nate had already been voted out, but apparently at some point, so we were on like video messages, and Idris's mom was like, "Hey, come over here and kill this bug." And Idris just like left the game to go kill the bug and just never came back. So
well, I hope you guys got a full season of content for him, and he didn't just decide to walk off mid-game.
So we're just like, okay, so I have no basis for any opinion on Idris. I wrote down like he's just a cool dude. I don't see the strategy. But I think that he could be easily likable and easily roped in as a number. Kind of like, I could see him almost being like, what's her name? Liz from last season. Is that her name? Yeah. Where she like, he's like the third number or like the fourth number in a group and just kind of goes with that.
I could also see that as well.
Yeah. Idris is on Hall leadership. So he does have that kind of potential, and he definitely is a competitor. But like you said, he's kind of there for the fun of it a little bit more than the competition itself.
Which is totally okay. I am excited for the energy that could bring. And I'm excited to see how he performs. Hopefully a little bit better than what we are giving him credit for off this little video. But yeah.
I think we're going to get fun confessionals from Idris.
I do too. I think he'll have fun with it. I think out of all the cast, he will have the most fun with the experience.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Moving on to my official winner pick, I will say Madeline, who is a freshman journalism major. I think she gives me Nicole vibes, and I was very close with my Nicole prediction. I felt that she has a good social sense, maybe because of her journalism stuff. She gave a very good description about how she's able to like read people not telling the truth to her, and kind of like, provided details on how she does that. And that kind of material is stuff that I love in these intro videos, because for the most part, these other contestants are just saying, I'm going to lay under the radar. I'm going to do this. She is utilizing her skills that she already has and applying it to the game of Survivor. So just automatically thinking about that puts her ahead of so many other contestants on here. And she said that she had a friend that suggested her. Who is that?
So she was a Dawson recruit.
A Dawson recruit.
Wow.
You did have some insight through Dawson about what the game would be like.
And that, depending on, that just sealed my winner pick. Depending on who requested her, or I guess referred her, Dawson is a fantastic mentor in a way. I don't know. I feel like she's in a really good spot going into it. And early prediction, she's got my vote.
She does not have my vote. I've never met Madeline. I do like that she just like, she gives off like cool girl vibes. Like she's gonna have fun. She's gonna be positive. She's gonna be easy to get along with. She's a dancer, so she's athletic, which I do like. I just don't see any game sense necessarily. I did like what she said about being able to tell when people were lying to her. But I don't know necessarily that Madeline's going to be necessarily a strategist. And I think because of the personality that we saw just from this intro video, I don't know necessarily that she's going to have the easiest time blending in. She kind of stands out for me. Like, she has a bigger personality. The way she speaks, she's more, she's just like, she stands out like in the way she speaks. And I don't know that that's going to be necessarily a pro for this cast that's trying to play all socially. But I do think that she can probably get by a couple weeks just from like being the nice, cool girl. I would love to hear from her about a little bit more about her strategy. Because like I said, I don't see the game sense, but I like her as a casting decision because I think she's going to be another one of the people who's just fun.
Yeah, Nate, what was the casting process like for Madeline, and what tribe is she on?
So Madeline's on the Tiwi tribe, so that's the all-girl tribe.
That's good for her.
Yeah, when we're casting, we're always looking for unique things. Being on the dance team is interesting, and also a journalism major. I think one thing about her that kind of sets her apart is like she has this natural kind of like innocence, approachability to her that like you just feel like you could talk to her very easily, and she would be very friendly. So some people might have to put in more effort to be that way, but kind of like how Dawson was easily approached by a lot of people in the game, I think that she has that going for her as well.
I agree. I similarly got that vibe, and I think that she was in a good spot. At least, you know, she was very conversational in the interviews.
I agree.
It didn't seem like you guys had to pry a lot of information out of her. And I do think I get similar Nicole vibes, who very much just got a lot of information from a lot of people and made the moves accordingly. So Nicole didn't get the win at the end of season 1. Still salty about that, but go Nathan. But Madeline is here to avenge Nicole, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm excited to see her play, definitely. Let's move on to Chadwick.
Who is viewing it, looks like.
Chadwick is the most interesting player on this season, and I stand by that. I have met this man. He is up and down Rupert Bonham. Like, that's just who he is as a person. It's loyalty. It's old school. It's we're going to keep the tribe strong. I'm going to provide for the tribe. Like, I'm going to be the leader. Like, if you turn against me, then, like, I'm against you, and I'm going to go all in every competition. And I just think that is so interesting to find somebody who's that way in 2020.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. I don't know if Chadwick is how big of a fan would Chadwick be?
I believe he had watched Survivor for a while, but then there was a gap in what he was watching, so he stopped watching.
So he watched mostly old school.
Gotcha. So Chadwick is piping in to say that he is honored. So nice, Drew. He's very honored to be referenced that way. I believe Rupert Bonham is a good compliment, I guess, if you want to be considered it. I mean, I don't really see negative in that, unless you want to win. Because I don't know. I just don't see that style of gameplay winning, especially it didn't win really back in seasons 1 through 12 or 13. I don't know, until the game evolved. It's probably not going to win in a college Survivor. Do I think he'll be a great character? Yes. Do I think he'll be a great hero? Probably. I don't know where we can go from that. I think he will be fantastic television. I don't know where I'm going to place him.
Another thing with Chadwick is I genuinely don't believe that he will lie to anyone. I don't think he'll manipulate. I don't think he'll backstab. And I think that's going to be very fun, but could lead him to getting potentially in trouble.
But it also could lead a lot of other players into getting in trouble, because
that's true.
With a lot of these social players, a big social wall that could be Chadwick could be very detrimental to their games. And he could have very honestly just sit there while these social games implode around him, because he's got all the information and he doesn't, he's going to play honestly with his people.
Yeah. I agree.
Which is still a very valid strategy.
I think Chadwick, as long as he can get involved in a majority early on, which I easily see him doing, I think he's going to be fine. He's going to play a loyal game. And I could see him going at least to a swap, if there's a swap, if not to the merge.
Definitely.
Yeah. Straight up and down guy.
Nate, what tribe is he on?
Chadwick's on the All Guys tribe.
See, that could be dangerous for him. I feel like Chadwick from the beginning would just be loyal to them. Starting tribe, be loyal. So come a swap, I think he would be the first one to go if they want to, it depends on how the majority plays out. And,
especially if he's a figurehead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Chadwick, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you for tuning in. I cannot wait to watch you play, and I hope that you at least make merge. I want to see you play in the merge. I know Rupert has had his heck of a time getting the merge. I hope you are also following in his footsteps.
Yes.
Moving on, we have Rachel, who is an international relations major. She's a freshman. She seems very friendly. She seems very genuine. And she also had one of the shortest videos on there. So I don't know what else I can say about Rachel.
She scared me, like, in a good way.
Yeah.
She's very intense, like, just the way she speaks. She's kind of like me, honestly, like very sharp, very quick sentences, very to the point, very direct, which I liked, and it scared me in a good way. Don't think that necessarily bodes well for her. It doesn't generally bode well for me. So I don't know. She was a little bit intense, but I like her. I want her to go far just because I could see her having really good confessionals. But I don't know game-wise how I'm feeling about her because we didn't really get very much strategy or social strategy at all from her.
I feel like we got very personality level from her, and I feel like that personality could go one of two ways, depending on how the rest of the castmates perceive her. But being bold and being, equally friendly and genuine, it looks like, could get you decently far. So I feel like Rachel is a wild card for me as well.
Yeah, she kind of gave me Megan Harvey vibes from season 1, where she's going to say what she needs to say. She's going to do what she needs to do. And then when it gets to a certain point, she's just going to be like, okay, fine, it is what it is. And I like that. She's going to do what she can, but she's going to know when it's over. I don't know, Nate, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, she has the shortest video because she literally was straight to the point. She was confident in what she was saying. She knew what she was saying. And I think that's something that we're going to continue to see from her. She's very self-assured, and some people might need time to find their footing, but I think she is going in kind of knowing who she is and how she wants to approach the game.
I like that she knows what she's doing. What was her level of fandom?
As far as I know, she hadn't seen too much, but she was just very confident in her own abilities as whatever the competition would be, that she would do decently well.
Yeah. I like her. I like her chances early on. I think being confident, especially when it comes to challenges, is going to be something because the first vote on a tribe, you're looking for the easy way out. And I don't think she's going to be, she's not going to let herself be an easy vote, which I like for her.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm excited to see her play as well. Again, wish we had a little bit more content, but if she was straight to the point, let's get straight to the point. I feel like she's, be good. She'd be good.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the other person, the third and final person to appear in our promo video, Delaney. Am I pronouncing that right?
Delaney, yes.
Delaney. So she also was recruited by a friend. She's a global studies major. She's a sophomore. And she's somebody that I actually believe said that she would play like Sarah, and I kind of believe that.
Yeah, but she said that she wanted to play season 28 Sarah, and I wrote that in all bold, and I was like, why?
Yeah, I mean, fair. But season 28 Sarah was also in a very good position throughout most of the game until she got backstabbed, blindsided by Tony. Anyways. Coming back, Sarah has been consistently one of the best players. She's only come back twice, but you know how those stories go. That I feel like is plus for her, and I believed her when she said that she wanted to play like that. Nate, can we get an insight to her friend connection?
Yes.
Yeah, so she was also a Dawson recruit. So Dawson, after the first season, we've had quite a few people that are recruited through our season 1 players. So Dawson was pretty good about recruiting, so he also recruited Delaney. And she did get some insight during the game, season 1, from him about his strategy and what was going on in the game.
That's something that I feel like she will be able to use. I think she's also one of my top runners to take the title. I feel like you guys are playing some mind games with us by putting her in the intro promo video, because why would you put the winner in the intro promo video? Who does that? I don't know. I don't know. Why would you guys do that?
I'm not sure how I feel about Delaney.
Really?
I've met Delaney once. She's very calm. She's very confidently calm. I did not love her interview. I thought that she gave a lot of non-answers to questions, like kind of not wishy-washy, but like base level answers. But I do like that she specifically mentioned season 28 Sarah, even though Sarah didn't make it far, and she did mention that.
Yeah.
Because of Sarah's positioning. Now, I don't specifically think that she should model her game after Sarah, but that one aspect I did like. I'm not sure how I feel about Delaney, just because I don't, like I said, I feel like we got a lot of basic answers.
Yeah.
I think she has kind of the same thing going on that Madeline has, where she just has like cool girl energy, which I think is helpful.
Dawson's just bringing in all the cool girl energies.
Yeah, right. So I feel okay about Delaney. I'm interested to see more because I don't really have a judgment on her right now.
I am mostly going off the fact that she appeared in the promo video. So that's what I'm going off of. That amplified my sense on her a little bit more. So hopefully Delaney proves me right. Hopefully she justifies or she redeems herself in Drew's eyes. And
she doesn't need redemption. I just need something.
Nate, I hope she gave you good TV. Is what. So moving on to Jacob, who is a very interesting case for me because not only was Jacob coming off as one of the most confident personalities in this cast, he was also filmed outside and in a different environment. And I took mental notes on that. Is he a late addition or something, Nate?
He is. So that was literally filmed our first day because he was a very last minute. We had to swap someone out and he came in to take the spot. So yeah, that's why it's a different location.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I really liked what Jacob actually brought. I think it's amazing that he's never seen Survivor and that he's this confident that he's gonna do well. And I like that he specifically said he didn't say that he was doing this to have fun. He didn't say that he was doing this to meet people. He said he's doing this because he wants to do something hard and challenge himself. And I really liked that. That tells me that he's going to actively try to play the game and he's going to try to pick up on it quickly, which I like. I think he's likable as long as he doesn't go into the cocky category. I really liked Jacob. Do I think he's going to win? No, probably not. If he can manage to make it there and he can get to the end and be like, I've never seen this before. I did all good for him. I don't know. Dom, what were your thoughts?
I thought that, agree. I don't think he's going to win. I think he's going to make it at, pre-merge, merge, but I know he's going to go out in a blaze of glory, doing whatever he can. If he had that much energy day one of shooting and in his interview, I feel like he will be able to bring it at least on camera for the rest of the season. So as long as he's on, I don't think he's going to be on too long, but I think he'll be good TV while doing so.
Yep, that's about all I have to say. Nate?
Yeah, basically what we got in the video is very much what we have to work with. I think if he finds his footing, he does well because he is that confident. And there are a lot of people who don't know what they're doing in this game. So at least if he's self-assured, maybe that'll give him some sort of boost.
Definitely.
Being self-assured and being confident definitely helps socially because if you're nervous and you're shy and you're reserved because you have a lot going on up here, then you won't make connections as easily. I do see him being able to make connections quickly, so I like that for him. But on to the next. We have Austin. Who my first note, I have season 1 Garrett vibes.
Really? I got season 1 Luke vibes.
Really? I see that because they're both kind of jockey, but Austin's entire strategy was I'm gonna play dumb. That was his entire strategy. I
think he'd be able to effectively do it out of all in the most positive way possible. I think that Austin would be able to do that. Because, he does look like a jock. He does look very strong. He does look, like all these attributes that should not work. I think he'd be able to play it off. but I also think he has a good sense of the game enough to realize how he is perceived in that way and be able to play off of that. He is honestly who I have topped ranked out of our guys. I think he's going to be our furthest placing guy, or at least provide the most strategy out of the guys. That's what I had for him. He's a psych major. He's a freshman, so he's coming into this. I feel like similar energy that Luke had, of, you know, wanting to do something, wanting to play. And I think he's got a perfect, you know, concoction of things that he wants to do. And I think it's just a matter of if he does it or not.
Mm-hmm. I do agree with Dom. I think that he probably can, just because of him being like the jock archetype. I think he can pull off the playing dumb strategy. I liked that he had thought about that ahead of time and he had nailed down going in what his strategy was going to be. I'm interested to see how he does socially, because he didn't really talk very much about his social game. So I'm interested to see how he does with that. But I'm pretty high on Austin as well, to be honest. I loved everything that he had to say. I just want to see social game, because that's, like I said, I think this season is going to be the season of the social game.
Yeah, definitely. I think he might be more strategy, so it'll be interesting to see how those coincide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that he could be someone to pull off playing dumb, because there's a lot of people who are like, I'm going to be underestimated, I'm going to be under the radar. And I think he does have one of the most convincing pregame statements, like, I'm going to play dumb and people are going to believe me. So that does work for him.
And I think a good thing also, he's one of the few people who the question was, what is your strategy going in? A lot of people were just like, I'm going to get people to like me, or, oh, I'm going to play under the radar. He said, this is my strategy. This is what I'm doing. Like, I've thought about this. This is not generic. This is what I'm doing. And I really like that for him. It shows that he's put thought into it and he knows what he's talking about, at least on that level.
Exactly. I also really like the fact that he said, I'm going to play dumb, but I'm also going to, you know, contribute strategy wise and socially wise to my alliance when I need to, because, you know, it's one thing to show that you are a number. It's one thing to show that you are good at challenges and an asset to your tribe. But another great thing to do in Survivor is to be an asset socially and strategically and be able to bounce ideas off of each other. If he wants to play up this dumb jock person, it's, you know, coming up with like this like sense of brilliance, you know, of a move or of, you know, something later in the game that affects something. I don't know. I feel like he's thought it through enough and he can strategically pinpoint when he wants to make his move and when he wants to insert his opinion and go with, or whether he just wants to go with the flow. So I really like what he's putting down. I'm picking it up. I'm picking up what he's putting down. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Austin, and I'm excited to see what he brings. And last but not least, we have my winner pick, Sophie Silver, my favorite. Sophie is winning this season. I hope so. I love Sophie Silver. She is extremely intelligent. I don't think that her interview did her justice, based on what I know about her outside of the interview. Because she is one of the, if not the nicest person I've ever met in my life. But she's also extremely athletic. She's really competitive. She's smart. I'm all in on Sophie. Her interview, I think, because I have met her now, which is 2 years after she played, her interview, I don't mean this in a negative way, but I kind of do also. She seemed a little bit ditzy maybe in her interview. But I think that will play to her advantage if that's the impression she gives off. But I'm all in on Sophie. Dom, what were your thoughts on Sophie?
I wouldn't say I'm all in. I already have my picks, but I was very I was very impressed with what she was putting down. I feel like, especially for senior year, she's in her senior year or entered her senior year on this season. I feel like the energy that you have to put in is completely different to what, you know, the other players would have to put in. You know, you're graduating, you are taking your final classes, it's stressful. So to add the game into that and to be as confident as she was going into this, that she will not only be able to handle her, like, everything outside of it, everything outside of like happening senior year, but being able to handle everything that would happen in the game, I thought that was impressive. I don't know how she's going to be in the game, but I think she's well-spoken. She is an exercise science major, so she's very, I believe it when she says she's athletic. And I feel like those concoctions should be a threat maybe later. I don't know. I don't know if she's going to win, but I could definitely see her going out 7th or 6th.
Yeah, I don't know. Nate, tell us a little bit about behind the scenes on Sophie.
Yeah, I think Sophie just reads as really genuine in what she says. I think she really means it when she cares about this experience and what it's going to give to her. And even though she is competitive, she really wants to form those relationships. But as Hallie said in her confessional, this might be something that tears people apart and that brings people together. So we'll see on this season. But I think that Sophie is just someone who might be trustworthy just because she is genuine and when she talks to people, and she does really care on some level, even if she could be playing the game at the same time.
All right, there we have it. There's our cast.
We have our 18 contestants, and I cannot wait to see how they interact, how they play. Nate, where can we watch season 1 or season 2, and when can we watch it?
So season 2 will be premiering on Saturday at 8 p.m. And then obviously you can still watch season 1 as well on Survivor LU on YouTube.
We are very excited to see what you guys have for us. This cast is extremely different from the season 1 cast, and I love that. I'm ready to see what we have to offer. Okay, Dom, call it top 3. Your top 3 picks.
All right, I'm going to go Madeline, Victoria, and I will go Delaney. I think it's the season of the girls. I am all girl power this season. If any of them go out early, this podcast is canceled. So you guys have to find someone new. Anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah. What about you, Drew? What do you got?
CK, Sophie, and I'm torn between 2, but I'm going to go Austin.
Okay.
I almost picked Lily. But I'm gonna go CK, Sophie, and Austin.
Well, we will see what happens on Saturday in the premiere episode. We don't have a date set yet for our recap episode, but that will definitely be up on the LRG pages. Make sure to follow those. And we do have some information to drop. There is a Survivor recap with Survivor Michigan All-Stars this Wednesday after season 42's episode in Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to tune into that. Only at Live Reality Games Podcasts on Facebook, YouTube. I believe we're on Twitter now. So make sure you tune in for that if you're interested in seeing what they have to say about this latest season. And of course, if you haven't already, be sure to stream season 1. If you've already seen season 1 of Survivor LU, be sure to rewatch it because get you prepared. It's like pre-gaming season 2. So again, make sure to watch season 2 on Saturday. And that is it from Dom, Drew, and Nate. I hope everybody has a great night, and we are concluding.
Peace out.